Hey gang, this is Glenn, win.It with Glenn. Welcome to another installment where we have been setting the foundation, talking about all the things that you're going to need to know as we examine businesses, best practices, those who win. And oftentimes in life, you can learn more from people such as myself, who I say took one for the team, or you can say been there, done that, tripped, fell, but they got back up. And oftentimes, I know we want to talk about the 10 attributes that every successful person do. And so I'm going to be talking to you about the 10 attributes that people don't do or have did that caused them to fall. And we can learn from those falls. We've been talking about in the last installment, which I want to finish up today, on success. What does success look like and what is success? And so if you didn't look at and listen to some of the others, go back in the archives, you can see it, and you can start with winning and see all of the concepts of what winning is, what is success. But we talked about success, which is foundational to winning, and what does it mean to succeed? And you succeed when you meet other people's needs. And that also could be a life, and most often is a lifelong journey. In sports, they talk about you're only as good as your last success, or the last one you did. And I know that doesn't sound so good, but frankly, we need to continue to move ahead. The concept of the rear view mirror is much smaller than the windshield. So I did that yesterday, but now it's time to move on. I need to succeed again today, and that is then meeting the needs. I know I met your need yesterday, but I need to meet the needs again today, and that is success. So the other thing about success that I want you to have underneath your belt as we look at what people have done in the near future is you want to put them first. And this is not a tongue twister, but this is a very great concept. And don't forget this one. If you want to be number one, make them number one. Think about that. Them first if you want to be first. Them first if you want to be first. You have to put them first for you to be first. See, if you focus on your customer, family, your spouse, all those folks, the different people that you come into contact with, you focus on them being happy, satisfied. In marriage, they say a happy wife is a happy life. So you have to focus on them first, then that will put you first, because you now are meeting people's needs. So that's what success is, that we said is germane in business. Success is meeting the needs. You see, the reason why this is important, because we forget, if you are focusing on you being profitable and what you need, then you're no longer focusing on what the customer needs. And how many times you picked up the phone and you've been on caught up in voicemail hell, or you've been flipped around, and the people care nothing about you, and you know what you do or what you want to do. Now, if you don't have any choice, you continue to go through it, but you say, I'll never make that phone call again. But if you had a choice, you just hang up and you go somewhere else, because you would say, they're not meeting my needs. And this concept of success and meeting the needs is, Martin Luther King said it years ago, anybody can be great because anybody can serve. Or the greatest of you must be the servant of all. And so serving others and meeting needs will be germane to your success and winning. And when you focus on, that's number 3, focus on your staff winning, focus on them winning. A happy staff, this is not a tongue twister, folks. A happy staff, for those of us in business, is a happy staff. And guess what that means? If you have a happy staff, that translates into a happy staff that then they will almost do anything for the organization, anything for you, and then thus anything for the customer. You need to create, and we're going to see, I have another concept that I want to throw out to you in the installments to come, and that's culture. But you need to create an environment where people, they say that the day that you find something that you love will be the last day you go to work. That may or may not be true, because somebody else said that the day that you find something that you love, you're going to just do it harder and harder. Like in marriage and other places, it's amazing. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough. All of the things that I did to land or to find this great woman that I'm connected to, then guess what? Now that you connected, then you do it more. You do it harder. Are you guys getting this concept? Those are the things that you need to do. And so you you meet the needs. You meet the needs. You weren't focused. I know embedded in all this, you had your own needs, but to get your needs met, you focused on theirs first, didn't you? So we know that a happy staff, a happy wife, happy vendors, etc., makes for a successful experience, and you end up winning. There's another concept in success. More often than not, more often than not, is not what you do. And yes, there's things that you do, and there's many things that you do, but I'm also going to define them. It's in things that you don't do. Do you realize that there's, in winning that war, there's a lot of things that you don't do. There's a lot of things that you don't see. And these are going to end up being part of your culture and who you are. But I'll tell you now ahead of time, you talk with your ears. And I remember in many of my conference meetings, people will say, Glenn, you know, you're the CEO, you're running this organization, and most of the time you don't say anything. And the president of my organization at the time, he said, well, yes, he speaks with his ears, that you listen, because you need to. And I would tell people, well, I need to hear what the staff's saying and what other people are saying for me to understand where they are. And even in these 10-minute drops that I'm doing with you, Win.It with Glenn, you know, if you're doing all of the talking, you have no idea what other people are thinking or where they are. And so winning and success oftentimes is not what you do, but is more of what you don't do. You defer, you concede, let other people engage, have other people give their thought process. So that was also important, as we talked about, in winning the war and not trying to win every battle. Let other folks speak, let other folks engage. And I'm still, you know, I told you that this is not a destination. You're always working on that. So I'm sure if you spoke to my kids, they said, well, Dad, you know, you need to you need to put to practice the very principles and concepts that you are teaching others, and defer and listen. And so success, winning, as we see this and as we start talking and taking a look at these other organizations that we're going to be examining and people who win. And that's what I want you to do, is win. How do I win no matter what's going on, no matter how I feel, no matter what circumstances I'm finding myself in, how do I win? And again, let's recap. It's not always and entirely what you've amassed. It's not always entirely, notice, what you achieved. It's not always and entirely what you do, but winning, success, if you haven't figured this out, and you should by now, not only through what I'm saying, but if you really take an honest look and reflect, winning and success in life has less to do with you and more to do with others. And I want you to become the greatest enabler that this planet has ever seen. And that is someone who enables other people, someone who is a conduit, someone who you will flow through. You help other people win. And you know what's going to be amazing when people see that, and including in your personal relationships as well as your professional, when people say, well, I can go to this person, and what is it? They find you as a resource to help them succeed. There'll be people running down, knocking down your door, So you remember, win in 10 with Glenn, the first place, the best place that you can make that change is look in the mirror. I'll see you next time. This is Win in 10 with Glenn.